Hello and welcome back for what will be our level 13 episode of Purple Rage, our barbarian life. No sun drenched market square this time, no fountain, just the macabre surroundings, the pouring rain, the leaden grey skies, and the imposing structure of the Spire of Validus, telling us just how high we've got to go, soaring as it does into the clouds, with the Lich waiting for us on the very top there. Plenty to relate at this level. So for level 13 we took our favoured soul level and we were able to put the enhancement points I wanted. So we've got bits spread around all over the place here. We might as well just have a little recap. We've got 3 points in there now for Divine Will. So this was kind of the thing I was thinking about to boost our tactics DCs. So in Reaper now, with the Rage going for extra strength, which obviously boosts the tactics as well because they go off the strength modifier, and with this going, half of the wisdom modifier to tactics and damage. If it was just for tactics maybe I wouldn't have bothered, but for the damage as well, wisdom in Reaper is 30, so we're getting a +5 on that. I took the liberty of adding a sneaky little point in there for wisdom just to make it an even number in Reaper when we do it. What else have we got? So yeah, it's another short-term buff to remember to click. So now we've got, when we close for combat, if it's a big group, we can have haste boost and Reaper strike for more double strike. For something particularly nasty or a boss, maybe we can have the improved uncanny dodge, 50% dodge bonus, really nice to have. I find myself using the Hood of Unrest a bit less because I have to be out of rage for that. Now that problem will be dealt with when we first go in Epic. We're going to go in the Draconic Destiny for the ability to cast spells while raged. So we'll be able to cast our healing spell, which I'm reckoning will be renewal from Sentinel, and we'll be able to do our clickables without having to unrage all the time, which is a bit of a pain. Speaking of pains, I have noticed, looking a little bit ahead, that we're going to be able to not need these resto potions. We're not going to suffer the fatigue. For Barbarian level 17 you get to dispense with fatigue from rage, so that's very nice. And the higher up you go, it seems that your rage does more and better things, so looking forward to that too. And of course the higher the rage is boosting us, the more it's boosting the tactics things as well, so very nice on that score. Speaking of which, I was wondering about the trees for Epic. Well, two of them are kind of going to choose themselves. We have to go in Draconic as far as I know, otherwise we can't cast while raged and we're not going to be able to heal ourselves. So that's a must take. It's not terrible as a fit for our build. There are some defensive things there, boosts to fortitude and reflex save and PRR and MRR. And if we go a little bit further, which I think we will, we can have 3 imbue dice for our frenzy as well. So not terrible. Certainly not amazing, but not terrible. The second one, Sentinel, well, at least there's melee power in the cores. It's not an amazing fit for the build. We will get some decent hit points out of there and melee power. Maybe we'll try and spend 11 in there. Really, the energy resist and the renewal, and that kind of is it, I think, for things that really interest us there, aside from the cores. I mean, even the third core, that's very good normally, knockdown immunity to most things, but we're not wearing a shield, so we're not going to get that, sadly. And that leaves me thinking, well, we've got one main tree to use. Traditionally, I guess this kind of build goes in the Fury, but given my liking for the tactic side of things, and given that we are leaning quite heavily on boost here, maybe maybe we could have a go at Dreadnought. I don't recall doing a build when I've pushed quite high into Dreadnought, and I did have a look at that, and quite a lot of the things are, you know, a reasonably good synergy with what we're trying to do here. Of course, we'd be missing the big numbers of the adrenaline hits in Fury and the strike through or whatever else we would be taking in there. But I quite fancy a go with the Dreadnought, because there is a sort of a, what's it called? Is it lay waste? Wings style attack that you can go and crunch people with. That definitely does appeal to me. Between that and the whirlwind we could get at 21, I think our epic adventures could prove quite fruitful. So I've been giving it some thought. I'm not just going to go in and throw things anywhere, as has been done sometimes in the past. So, what did we do since last we spoke? We've been in the sands. I had a little look round, got a little bit of XP from the explorers and rares. Didn't find any of the big items which I would class as blood. What's it called? That trinket, bloodstone, and ring of spell storing. No sniff of them, but we did get a dust cart, which when upgraded to epic is very nice. 3 15-minute AoE clickables for Death Ward, so better than what we've got now. And there's a desert sands bonus attached to that if we chose to equip it, but we're not going to do so. Could be good for an acid, a blight caster, or a poison alchemist, or a blight caster perhaps. That set bonus. Yeah, tokens wise, I didn't do too badly. I got about 100, and it's I'm really not one of these for the slayers. In epic, it's very very rare I do anything with that. I suppose partly because you really need to be in a group where they're all contributing to make it worthwhile, and you need to have your consumables, really, your Slayer potion and your XP potion, which again I use very sparingly, so it's not something I do too much of. But just wandering round there in the sands looking for my rares and a few tokens, I was quite happy to do that as just a once off. Otherwise we did very well questing wise, persisting with my strategy of lower difficulty, so sticking with Reaper 1 and just leaning heavily on the blood tribute. That's worked very nicely in sands. I mean, Whisking we went to extremes. I could have rested and didn't, and we ended up with 20 stacks of blood tribute, and still I had plenty enough health to not be too worried. So it's looking like it might be a viable strategy moving forward. And I think, if I'm right, in epic you start getting extra temp hit points. Is it 25 per every epic level? Oh, it's telling me there, isn't it? Each epic and legendary level adds 25. Learn to read. So what could we end up with? We could end up at least doubling that 150, couldn't we? Sadly, that'll be by the back end of it, but hey ho. I think renewal will be a really good one for us when we get that. That certainly helped in the monk life. This is beginning to rival the monk life in terms of the fun being had. I I definitely struggled with the Tempest. I can't blame it all on the Illithid invasion because that only started in late heroic of that life. I really struggled, especially around the start of that. After 12, it did pick up noticeably. Not the turbocharged pickup that we've had here, but it did pick up. But this one's been a great deal of fun. Between the two crowd controls we've got, which are now um, AoE obviously with our strike through, the boosts, the evasion, sorry, the dodge bonus we can hit, the cracking attack for extra damage, and fort removal against nasty targets, and the three sort of passive boosts that we just click in the background: the divine will, the rage potion, and the rage, our barbarian rage. I noticed that the potion of rage, it's a morale bonus to strength and con. So going in fury, the bonus from primal scream is also the same bonus morale, so they wouldn't stack with that, I guess. And I think primal scream, once you double the bonus, you can get more obviously than a potion of rage would. But as we're not going in there, we might persist with these, and I'm sure they'll do okay for us. What else do I have? Yeah, the only real problems we had. I suggest that everybody would have these to a degree, although it's true to say as well, looking at these resistances, that they're not good enough, are they? Not for Reaper, if you want to avoid the ticking damage that the flame skulls and wisps are throwing around. Fire is the main one, I think, and that really should be higher if we want to not have too much trouble. Yeah, red crown wisps and red crown flame skulls, real problems there. I mean, they can get you for the ticking damage of maybe 100 a tick, and it just gets really silly really quickly. But aside from that, we've done really nicely. We've been getting rid of opponents in short order, especially when the haste boost is going, just no problem at all. So that's been great. Strategy somewhat vindicated so far. I know it's rare for me to even have a strategy, isn't it? What's this? Oh yeah, you might recall, if you've seen previous series, which one was it on? It might have been on our Tempest Life. We got stuck in that in the invitation to dinner because we had no DDO. We got stuck in the room with Strad, the initial room with those two nasty curse-giving shadows, and basically just died a horrible death. Well, this guy, between his haste boost and all the rest of the boost, and then the stunning blow, he stunned them both and just hammered them into the ground. So hugely satisfying that was. Really nice. Another little bonus of having the favoured soul is we have now got a castable, albeit short duration, 5 minutes, night shield spell. Do it so we don't need to mess around clicking our belts for the shield spell. So that's quite nice to have. I don't think there is anything else. Gear, as I mentioned, we're going to stay the same until 15. We do have part of the family set for him to wear at 15 from Shan, so that would be medium armor, necklace, and what's the third one? Gloves, isn't it? And that's unfortunate because that means we're going to lose our little bonus from the trinket. But those gloves, I mean, on their own, they're pretty worthless in terms of our build, aren't they? So perhaps it's time they were moved along, and then we can perhaps find something Tell you what might go nicely in that slot. The going into epic, there's the crocodile tooth from Saltmarsh, isn't there, with accuracy and insightful accuracy, and I think some other good stuff as well. I can see that doing really well for this build, and it will be part of the Saltmarsh set as well. I've got some nice gear. I've actually put some effort into crafting or creating some early 20s gear for him this time around. That's kind of only half the truth. The effort actually went in for my ranged character, who often levels in the same build, always a ranged build, and so I thought we'd get some mileage out of having a regular set for him. But as the things needed are pretty much the same for melee or ranged, seeker, deadly, all that kind of good stuff, accuracy, I figured we would borrow that gear this time around and see how we go. And I've got an example of an epic gem of many facets with 2 set bonuses, both of which we can use. Although I've just mentioned that one of the slots is going to be taken. Yeah, it's the gem has 2 bonuses, and one goes with a neck piece, Vulcor's something or other, and another one goes with, I can't remember what the other one goes with, but I'm guessing they'll clash with some of the family set, so we'll just do the best we can, see what we can make out of it. Other than that, let's actually get on with some questing, shall we? I was hoping to try to have a go at 2 this time, the Spire of Validus and then maybe the Spawn of Whisperdoom, but that is a long old quest. I'm not sure how long have we been going now. I'm not even quite sure at that. Let's get some organisation in here. Long-term buffs first, then the short ones. So you can see there, 45 now for Stunning Blow and Trip in Reaper, which to my mind is pretty good. All I've got to do is try to remember to not to fall in the poison traps in these corridors, and to remember to redo the buffs as and when necessary. Of course, against undead our stun won't work. Oh, we can collect the lost souls because we're using mana now for our divine will. Trying not to break the sarcophagi because I have a feeling they're full of mummies and things waiting to jump out on us. Ooh, that's a big boost time. Hitting the blood tribute for 10 hit point cushion, which I should have done anyway because that's our only way to stop them eating into our actual health pool. Hitting it again because we just got smashed by that trap. Never tire of seeing people knocked on the floor or crowd controlled in general. Oh! I think I can thank some dodgy collision detection for me not getting hit by that. Oh, another Reaper. More boostage. Okay.
The tower's summit seems forever out of reach, no matter how high you climb.
Yeah, well, we saw it from the ground level, so we know it's a long walk. Saving the boosts unless a Reaper or something nasty pops up. Let's get the blood tribute on because I think there's some more traps here. Actually, we could do with a boost here, couldn't we? Because these things come back as other things and they can cause some trouble. Filth Fever, I don't like the look of that. Ooh, red crown. Okay. Wrong key. Can we not pick that thing up? I thought there was a gelatinous cube somewhere. Oh, it's there. Let's just leave it behind, shall we? Oh, is it coming through? No, I think it's stopping there. Now, how badly did we damage our weapon? Not too badly. It's hardly ever taking any damage, this thing. Very good for that. Trap. Ooh, big one. I shouldn't have done that. I should have saved that boost for the end boss. Remove disease. Yeah, I've run out of the double strike boost now for the main boss at the end, which is not good. I think we're here actually, speaking of main boss. Right, yeah. Now we can fall as well, can't we? So need to have feather fall on. Let's make sure we have a full rage. Divine Will, did that go on? No, it didn't. For some reason, the Divine Will didn't trigger. I'm going to have to wait to redo that. I read something once that the actual cooldowns are not quite the proper cooldowns, and so sometimes when you press to activate something, it doesn't trigger properly, but still puts it on cooldown. Come on. So the floor's going to start to collapse, so let's go on solid ground if we can. Boost. Yeah, well done, well done. I'm struggling against that incorporeal thing because we don't have our ghostly cloak on at the moment because I want Featherfall. If we just drop down one and face north, we have a possible optional down here. For a chest. I think there was one, there's one right at the bottom, I know that. I think there's another one somewhere, but I can't remember where that is. So let's get stuck into these folk. I still haven't got the cloak back on. Okay. Where am I going? Down there. chest down here. Another one there. And that is an optional one that we can't do. First of all, we can't unlock it. And secondly, it's trapped around that area. But there is a small bonus, XP wise, for getting that. Okay. I think that went pretty well. I've been with casters in this quest and reached the Lich at the end and met a very grisly fate when more or less everything I've thrown at them has been no good. Right, let's try teleporting to Fiarlan then. Let's see if we can make an impression on the spawn of Whisperdoom. Now, it's a long old quest, this. I'm willing to bet few people will use it during the leveling process, because not particularly great experience for what you have to go through to do it. In fact, it's such a long time since I've done it, I can't even remember where the heck it is. I thought it was next to one of those, is it you who gives it? Ah yes, it's in 2 parts, this thing, isn't it? I forgot about that. There's a path to Whisperdoom first and then the quest itself. I think as this is on normal, I don't think we need to do anything too spectacular here. Just get to the entrance. Optional, dispatch all sentries, 4 left. Well, where are the others? Never mind. Right, now this is going to be quite challenging, I think, because we don't have a heal, and these spider things in here do a significant amount of acid damage. Also, I'm not convinced there's too many shrines in here, and as such, our stacks of blood tribute are going to mount up. So we're setting the bar quite high here. What do we have to do? I think it comes up with the objectives as we go. I think we have to go south to start with, don't we? See if we can find... see if we can find a key to access further. I think that's how it goes. At least we can do some of our crowd control in here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, now there's going to be traps here. I just don't know where and when. Okay. Still wary of traps. Saving the boost because these isolated encounters, there's nothing that looks particularly threatening here. Okay. To have a real sense of timing. I mentioned not particularly threatening and we get skewered in a trap. I need to keep picking up the lost souls to keep us in mana for our trance. Disease. I think there is a trap in front of that thing, but I'm going up this way first. Is that? Oh, yeah. Crikey, that's not good. I think that might be a shrine, but let's. We could possibly come back to it. We've got to come back this way with no DDO, so we've no choice. Okay, let's get some boost down. You need to be on the floor. Okay. That's our key for going further, and a little bit of loot. So, can we time this? God. I'm not sure we can. Let's just get through here. I'm sure this is a shrine. We don't actually need it, do we? So I'll wait until we get to somewhere new. I think there may be another trap. Oh, there is. There's a spike trap here, isn't there? We just about got over that. Wait until we get to somewhere new where we're gonna encounter things before triggering the
village.
blood tribute and the defenses. I guess that's now, isn't it? Okay. Hello. Ooh, 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 ooh. How dare you strike us?
The hatchery.
Miserable creatures, okay. Now I think it's random where various things can be, so you just have to keep exploring around as far as I know. So that's one of the necessary objectives, kill the Carthul enchanters. The other one is slay Whisperdoom's daughters, I think, and the other optionals, sometimes you end up just completing them as you're going about your business. Ooh. Can we actually get in there? Doesn't look like it, does it? Is there no lever? Ah, there is. I really don't want to be, yeah, acid arrow. We're gonna suffer with all that kind of stuff. Go on, get him. Nice. But nothing in here, sadly. So just a case of keeping an eye on the map and opening up new areas. Oh, that looks like something undesirable. Or in the context of the quest, it is desirable because we need to get rid of those, don't we? Yeah, nasty, nasty acid damage. It's always a bonus when your intended crowd control actually kills the thing. So let's keep going this way and up there. I think 4 more daughters and 4 enchanters we need. Is that an enchanter? I don't know. We're not doing too badly on the Reaper front. I don't think we've seen one yet, have we? Yes, it was an enchanter. So we're down to 3 left of those. It's a bit of a rabbit warren, but as I mentioned, just keep an eye on the map and just go into any unexplored section and you should be okay. That's a nice one. You can trip a spider. Oh god, I don't like the look of that. Okay, how do we deal with that? We have no ranged. We don't actually need to go in there, do we? There was nothing... those two are not quest objectives, so let's just leave that alone. Talking of ranged and problems, I've only really had one so far. Sorry, 2. The boss at the end of Temple of Evil Part 2, is it Faden or something like that, who simply refused to come down even after me shooting him repeatedly with my little dart. So said little dart was the implement of his doom, but it did take quite a long time. And the harpies at the end of the Arginvost quest, you know, just above the maze at the end there, some of them refused to come down, so they had to be darted as well. Aside from that, I really haven't had any troubles with not having any ranged damage to bring to bear. Oh, get the healing, not healing rather, the damage mitigation. I think we're going to need some more here, aren't we? No? Is that okay? So I could, just as we're going, I could just keep chugging these little things, but I need to... Oh, I had some kind of a healing debuff there, that's why that happened. I don't have it now, though. Maybe something's in the area and that's why it's not giving me a proper heal. Yeah, it must be. Okay. Leave me alone with your acid arrows, God. That's the problem in here, this acid damage, and with me having a crappy acid resistance, it's not helping us. So we want 2 enchanters and 3 daughters now. We're beginning to get there. And that's one of them. Can we stun that? Saved. Oh god, big hit, big hit. Wow, they don't mess about, those red crown bosses, do they? Okay. So looking at the map, we've done everything on this side, the eastern side. We've got there and here to do. So let's go down and do that bottom section first. Still not getting proper heals in here.
The hatchery.
How can there always be opponents? No, I think it's destined to just
Fresh kills hang from the web.
not give us any kind of heal, is it?
Former adventurers.
So unless we find a shrine, we're just going to have to keep stacking up the stacks of blood tribute. My record, as I said, was 20 in the Whiz King, because of course the Whiz King was in the last tower I checked. Our intelligence was just high enough, I think, to be able to read those little tablets, so thankfully I didn't have to go to the top of each tower. If you didn't know, in the Whiz King, for each tower or section you progress upwards in, halfway up about, you get to these this end room with a tablet that you can read if you have high enough intelligence, and it tells you who is waiting at the end of the tower. So if it's not the Whiz King and you're not with a group, i.e. completing all the objectives, you can then either DDO back, or, as I didn't have a DDO, just make your way back to the start room. Use the old harper pin to try to jump out of those webs.
We hear a rumbling. Followed by
A rumbling?
screech deep within
Oh right, good stuff. So we've got the Whisperdoom daughters,
slain.
and have we got the Carthul enchanters as well? It looks like it. Okay, so now we are headed
Hatchery.
into the main area, which I think is through here, and this is what we needed the silver key for. Yeah.
Now that the Carthul enchanters are
She can take some finding, old Whisperdoom. Or we might get lucky and find her straight away. It gives you a text.
skittering legs and clicking fangs echo in the darkness around you.
It gives you a text when you first run into her, I think, and a sort of a warning that she's near. It doesn't tell you. You have to kind of guess whereabouts she is. The problem here, and one of the big reasons I think why not too many would run this quest, is that she moves about, and moves about quite rapidly and all over the place in this section. So it can take, if you're in a party, I wouldn't anticipate it being too much of a problem, but alone like this, it could take us quite some time to find the bugger. Ah!
The corner of your eye.
Let's get her. Don't let her go. Go on, boost. Yes! Yes!
To the ground.
Happy days. Yeah, I have spent
No more.
a really silly amount of time looking around for her, so I'm happy for that. We were able to pounce on her and not let her go. Okay, good stuff. How long did that take? That wasn't actually too bad for a Whisperdoom. I thought we did okay there, especially given the fact we had poor acid resistance. What did we end up with? 13 stacks of blood tribute. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. I guess that's going to be the challenge then, moving forward. Can we possibly manage to keep going with that strategy, using only the blood tribute and selected little potions of cure serious, and try and take that all the way to the epic on Reaper 1. If we can manage that, then of course we'll have the epic heal, the renewal, so that'll be a bit of a game changer if we get there. I would suspect that later on the incoming damage is going to start outstripping the even on Reaper 1 the temp hit points that we can get from this blood tribute. But unlike the Warlock stanch, this one's on a very short cooldown, so it does allow us to abuse it somewhat more than the Warlock would if I can keep an eye on it. Of course the Warlock by this level would be getting way more than 150 temporary health for his or her stanch, but we can't have it always, can we? Right, I think that about does it for this one. Thank you very much as always for looking, and I will see you at level 14. Take care.